If you used a version of Sibelius earlier than Sibelius 7, you've probably already noticed that the biggest difference in the new version is the addition of the ribbon. The ribbon can take some time to get used to, but for the great majority of users, it means that more advanced features are only a few clicks away. And if you're one of those users who knew all of the shortcuts already, you're not disadvantaged because those shortcuts are still the same. The ribbon organises all of Sibelius's features into easy-remember groups within 11 tabs at the top. For instance, in the Note Input tab, there are groups called Setup, Note Input, FlexiTime, Voices, Intervals, Cross-Staff Notes, Arrange, Transformations, and Plugins. Before we begin exploring the ribbon, it's worth noting that it may not appear exactly the same on your computer as it does in this video. This depends on the size and resolution of your computer screen. The ribbon expands and contracts groups to fit the width of the screen, as you can see if I drag the window to make it narrower. This group of buttons in the Transformations group eventually can't fit in the ribbon, so they are gathered together inside a singular Transformations button. Clicking that button reveals the whole group. Therefore, what you see in your ribbon may be a little, or a lot, different to what you see in this video. The great thing about the ribbon is that everything is always named by the tab at the top, then by the group. So if I tell you to click on the Notations tab, and then the time signature button in the common group, you'll always be able to find it. The controls in the ribbon behave in different ways. This one is a gallery, allowing you to preview what these text styles will look like when added to your score. Next to it is a split button. Clicking its top half does one thing, in this case adds lyric text to my score. Clicking in the bottom half offers more options. At the bottom right of many groups are dialogue launcher buttons. You use these to open often complicated-looking dialog boxes to change settings or access the really advanced features. The tabs at the top of the ribbon are organised approximately in the order that you'd work on your score, starting with Note Input and ending with proofreading and making parts. The two exceptions to this rule are the File tab at the very left, which opens something called the Backstage, and the View menu at the very right, which you'll visit only occasionally to hide or show things in your score or open some of Sibelius's floating panels. To help you remember where you'll find the features you need in the ribbon, I find it easiest to conceptualize them as follows. Think of the Home, Note Input, Notations and Text tabs as the group of 4 that is all about getting your musical material into Sibelius. The Play tab is for playback, not just getting Sibelius to play your score back, but changing how it performs your music. You can group the Layout and Appearance tabs together in your mind, because both relate to changing how your score looks. Last in the process of score preparation are the Parts and Review tabs, which, again, can be grouped in your imagination, this time as the 2 tabs you don't need until you're nearing the end of your project. I haven't included the File and View tabs in this list because these are less to do with the actual creation of your score. If, despite this help, you find things difficult to locate in the ribbon at first, don't despair. At its top right corner is the Find in Ribbon search box. If I accidentally close the navigator and I can't remember how to open it again, I can simply type Navigator into the box. A list of possible results is displayed, and selecting one shows its location in the ribbon. Some musical terms are tricky to find in the ribbon. For example, dynamics come under both the textile expression and the crescendo and diminuendo lines. A table is provided in your book to show you what to search for in these instances. If you're a shortcut fiend and want to learn shortcuts for everything in the ribbon very quickly, you can use key tips to navigate the ribbon with keys. To do this, press Alt on a Windows computer or Control on a Mac. The key tips for each tab appear. Simply type the one you need, for instance, N to open the Notations tab, and then I could type CL to open the Clefs gallery. If you used an earlier version of Sibelius and are used to getting to lots of features through the Create menu, Don't worry, you can still access this menu. Simply right-click on any blank part of the score and it will pop up. If you're using a Mac and don't have a 2-button mouse, just hold down Ctrl while you click, which has the same effect as right-clicking. By the way, if you didn't know this, it works in any Mac program. At the bottom of the screen is the status bar. You've already learned what the buttons on its right-hand side do. On the left-hand side are readouts of all sorts of interesting information. The most important of these is your current status readout. Because I've got nothing selected in my score at the moment, it reads No Selection. If I click on a note in my score, it changes to Edit Note. Lots of other information pops up too, which you don't need to worry about at the moment. But the status is very important because as you learn Sibelius, it will tell you what's going on. If I press Escape to deselect the note, it changes back to No Selection. Now I'll click on a lyric in the vocal part. It changes to Edit Lyric, again confirming what I'm currently doing. If you're ever unsure what mode you're in Sibelius, just check the status bar.